Today we're going to introduce you to the Pioneer Eclipse FM Floor Polisher. We're going to go through all its applications. It's a very versatile machine. You can polish floors with this. You can sand wood floors with it. You can prep concrete floors. Variety of uses. We're going to go through how to operate the machine and do it safely. All right, so the first thing you want to do when operating the FM is you want to make sure you get the right pad or applicator on the bottom of the machine. First thing you want to do, make sure it's unplugged. We're going to lay the machine back so it lays on its handle. Then we're going to take your attachment and we're going to insert it right over top of this gear drive. To install your pad driver or whatever applicator you may be using, you're going to line the tabs up in the gear with the tabs in the pad driver. And then you're going to rotate it counterclockwise. Our application that we're going to start with is just standard floor polishing. We're just going to use a basic red pad to show you how to do that. It just presses right into place on this pad driver. Normally this application is done wet, which we're going to show you in a minute. We're going to start though with the floor dry to show you how to turn the machine on and operate it, and then we'll do it wet later. This machine comes with an optional water tank. That you can apply the water from the tank directly to the floor, or the traditional method is just use a mop bucket. Okay, so we've got the FM plugged into a standard 115 volt outlet. The first thing you want to do is release the handle, let it float down about waist height. I happen to like mine right around the middle of my pockets. You're going to lock the handle in place. Very important that the handle gets locked in place. In order to turn the machine on, you have to engage this safety button and then squeeze these tabs at the same time. Once the tabs are squeezed and the machine is running, you can let go of the safety button, okay? This machine rotates clockwise, so it's going to want to walk to the right, and it's going to start with some torque. So you want to make sure it's up against your body, and as you turn the machine on, I'm going to operate it. I'm going to make it move right or left by either raising or lowering the handle in very small increments. If I want it to go right, I'm going to raise the handle a little bit. If I want to go left, I'm going to let the handle drop down a little bit. Now, if this is the first time you've ever operated the FM or any other floor polisher, you're going to want to make sure that you get some practice before you start your actual application. Take the machine out into the middle of the room, away from the walls, and then practice a little bit. It does have some torque at startup. Common mistakes that first-time operators make, they don't get the machine up against their hip when they turn it on. They try to operate it out here away from their body. Cannot manhandle this machine. It will manhandle you. They will also sometimes try to operate it with the handle loose and not locked in place. You need the leverage of the handle locked in place in order to make the machine go right or left the way you want it to. If it's not locked in place, you have no control over this unit. If you do get in trouble and start to lose control of the machine, the only thing you want to do is just release the handles. Release these tabs. Don't release the full handle, release these tabs and the machine will stop immediately. Okay, let me show you that. Right, I held onto the machine, I let it turn off, the machine stops immediately, okay? So what normally happens with a first-time operator, if they feel like they're losing control of the unit, is they squeeze the handles harder and try to muscle it. It's not gonna work, just let go of the tabs. Okay, so now we're going to show you an application on concrete prep. This application will be used lots of times to remove mastic off a floor or prep the floor to be painted, that type of thing. Two things to note, when you're using a tool like this, you're going to want to make sure that the floor is wet. It's supposed to be a wet application. And then also you want to be really careful about things that protrude from the floor. In this case, we've got some metal studs from, it looks like a previous beam or some shelving or something. You'd want to grind those down and make sure that you don't run over those. If you do, you could end up damaging the tool, you could end up damaging the machine, or you could end up losing control of the machine because it gets harder to run when you get into those kinds of situations. You're going to take the drive plate, has the exact same type of clutch plate that was on the other pad driver we showed you, just slides right over the tabs. And locks in place. And now for wood floor sanding, the application is very similar. One thing that you need to understand is when you use sandpaper, the finer the grit, the more surface tension you're going to have on the floor, and therefore the higher torque when you start this machine. Okay. One thing I'd recommend if you're going to do sanding is get a dust skirt. They are optional on this machine, and hook it to a vacuum for dust-free sanding. The Pioneer Eclipse FM floor polisher is available in 17-inch and 20-inch sizes. For more information on this machine and other equipment from Pioneer Eclipse, please visit us at pioneereclipse.com.